But viewers actually can text us any questions they might have. So give us that information.
Correct. So if you are looking to have your questions answered, text us at 419-248-1100 with any question you have. It is manned by a human being, and we will get back to you with these answers. We actually have a couple already sent in that I'm going to send to that I'm going to ask Dr. Nelson. From Kelly in Monclova, first off, we have this question: what are the key issues that Ohio voters are most concerned about right now?
I think that immigration is high on the list, especially for Republicans. I think the economy is important to people from both parties, and I think abortion rights is another key issue in this campaign.
And we have a second one as well from Jaden in Toledo. How do the presidential candidates' policies differ when it comes to addressing the economic challenges faced by Ohioans?
Well, it's a little bit hard to unpack that sometimes because this hasn't been an especially policy-driven campaign. I think you get a little bit more detail from the Harris campaign about impact. She's got specific proposals about things like home health care aids for seniors, tax credits for new families, some things like that. The Republican platform is more focused on things like mass deportations and tariffs, which will have a big impact on the economy.
And lastly, we have one more. This is from Kaylee in Sylvania. How are Ohio's congressional candidates positioning themselves on national issues like immigration and climate change?
So I think this is really interesting because what we're really seeing now is that congressional candidates are pretty much all running national campaigns. That is, the campaign for the House of Representatives is not local issues in the different parts of the state. It's largely the same issues: economy, immigration, abortion rights, democracy, things like that we're seeing fought out all across the country. And that's a little different than it might have been a few decades ago.
Yeah, so actually I'm going to start asking Sam about this. I mean, back to the presidential race. You know, Ohio used to be one of those key states. It used to be if you didn't win Ohio, you didn't win the presidential election. But that really has changed when it comes to, elections now. I mean, we're just not seeing that. And it has been a solid red state for the last couple of elections. So at this point, do we just say, well, Donald Trump's going to win today and just leave it at that? What are your thoughts?
Well, we were the bellwether state for over a century. Ohio looks a lot like the rest of the country, but now it seems a red state. Texas was closer in 2020 than Ohio was, and that might happen again this year. I think Trump is very likely to win the state. Everybody expects him to. He's got about a 9-point lead in the polling averages. One big question, though, is that polling lead going to hold up? Or is it going to be a little bit tighter than that, which might give us some signals about where Ohio's headed in the future?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you next. Yeah, you mentioned the 9 points, but say he wins by 2 points. Is that some sort of indicator about what we might expect the rest of the night? Can we read anything into Ohio's vote?
I think Democrats would be very excited about a result like a 2-point loss in Ohio. That would probably suggest a big electoral college victory for Kamala Harris. She would win the swing states and maybe some others like Iowa. I also think that it would probably be a big encouragement to Democrats in terms of building the party. Sherrod Brown would likely, in that scenario, win re-election pretty easily. That would be a fantastic night for Democrats, but certainly not what I'm looking to see.
Right. And so obviously we want to talk about Michigan a little bit because there's been a lot of talk, and the candidates, Mr. Trump and Kamala Harris, they've been in Michigan a lot. Mm-hmm. And this is a very important state, right? So what are your thoughts about Michigan?
Michigan's playing the role now that Ohio played a few elections ago, and it's clearly one of the key states. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, those are where we've been focused, even when Joe Biden was the Democratic candidate. And so the way Michigan goes is a big indicator for the way the national race is likely to come out.
So like Carmen said, we can look at all these results on our website. And so is there some part of Michigan that we want to look at and say, this is the key part? If this goes for Mr. Trump, then it's going to be his state. If it goes for Kamala Harris, it's going to be hers.
Well, we want to see if Harris is running up the score in Wayne County, Detroit. We want to see if she's getting similar results or better results than Joe Biden got in Oakland County, where Biden won. But then can she hold the margin close in Macomb County, which is a Republican county typically, but has been moving towards Democrats in recent elections? If she can do well in those 3 counties, and then of course Washtenaw County, she should be in good shape in Michigan.
So we want to jump back to Ohio a little bit, and there's a key issue on the ballot in Ohio, and that's issue 1. And we get a lot of questions about this. I mean, people are confused. My impression of it is that if you vote for issue 1, this means that there's going to be a citizens committee. There will be 5 Republicans, there will be 5 Democrats, there will be 5 independents. If you don't, it's going to be kind of the way it's been. So, I mean, can you talk briefly about issue number 1?
So you described it exactly right. It's been promoted by groups that want to see fairer maps or less partisan gerrymandered maps in Ohio. Give it to an independent commission. The commission we have now, critics say, is not doing a good job, is loading the deck for Republican candidates. The key problem here is that the ballot language, the way it's described on the ballot, is quite confusing and probably leads people to vote the opposite of the way they intend to.